What's going on, folks? It's me, Mikey fucking Pipes. It's Hump Day, Wednesday. It is 6:18 on Wednesday, November 5th. Watching the news, and I was just cleaning up the video footage and pictures on my iPhone, and I'm looking at a bunch of shit, and then I look at the voting ballot. I miss the days when I went in with my parents when I was a preteen and 7, 8 years old, and I would follow them, usually both of them individually. I would follow them into the voting booth, and I would take the lever and turn it to one side, and it would close the curtain, and then one parent would vote all in one row, and the other would vote all in the other row. You know, one was a Democrat, one was a Republican. And they both told me, like, hey, listen, this vote is private, and this is between me and the voting machine, and you happen to be sitting here watching, so it doesn't really make a difference. But it was fun. I miss those days. Now we have this stupid piece of paper with a pencil or a pen, and you fill in the dots like a Scantron test in school. I don't think they still have Scantrons in school, but anyway, this morning, shut up! This morning, on the way to my first emergency service call, I got a phone call from Mr. John Phillips, from Mr. Sunshine. The call lasted 11 minutes. It started at 7:22, and at 7:31, I was like, listen, Johnny, I gotta go. And I'm sure he recorded the conversation. And it's all good. It is all good. But one of the things that we talked about was how America is doing bad now. He's claiming America is doing bad right now. It's more expensive. People are poorer. And my thoughts on that are, you're watching the wrong channels. Like, the stock market is at record highs, literally at record highs. Unemployment is at record lows. Inflation is at record lows. Right? And this is public data. He goes, well, Mikey Pipes, not everyone is rich and they can invest in the stock market. My response to that was, if you have a full-time job and you are on food stamps, there's something wrong. All right? So I got home today after running several service calls, securing a boiler replacement, fixing a fucked up boiler install, doing a steam boiler maintenance, and then going on to a service call where they have a wall hung combi where they had an emergency and no one's home. They have to have an emergency. As I marked the job on my way, and they got a text notification on their phones like, hey, Mike from Pipe Doctor's on his way. So what they do, they call the officer real quick. It's like, oh, no, we're not home. It's an emergency. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, bullshit. I hate it when they do it, especially when you get to a customer's location after you arrived on time for a service call or whatever, and they're not there. Like, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. I was like, you knew I was coming. In case you're wondering what I'm drinking, watermelon and grass. No, watermelon and basil. And I'll show you, because some of you have asked, I'll show you my bar, my wet bar. That's about 30 feet that way in the dining room. But I was I was curious about what Mr. Sunshine said. And I respect Mr. Sunshine. You know, not only is he a veteran, he served in the United States military and the Navy. He wasn't a seaman. He was a pipe fitter and figures, you know, seaman, Navy, pipe fitter. Sorry, Navy guys. He's also an American, and we have to respect one another, even though that's not really the case anymore, especially when communism is coming into the States. So I did a little research today, and because Mrs. Sunshine said, well, only the rich people who invest into the stock market and investments, and blah blah blah, only they are reaping the rewards of individual stocks, mutual funds, retirement plans, etc. And I'm like, interesting. So I did some research today, and the numbers are quite alarming. That according to recent surveys, now it's hard to really, the surveys are like who you asked and, who's going to, whatever. But on average, 62% of U.S. adults report owning stock in some form, whether that's individual stocks, mutual funds, retirement plans, other investment vehicles, things like that. I have some notes here. So 62% of U.S. adults report owning have some kind of stock market or investment exposure, whether it's an IRA or a 401k or whatever. 62% on average report having some kind of exposure. Now, with that in mind, which is low, that's kind of sad actually, that only 6 out of 10, 6.2 out of 10, or 62 out of 100 American adults have some kind of investment, whether it's their retirement or stock. It's sad, and I'm not gonna brag here. I don't really, I'm one of those 62 out of 100. Don't get me wrong. But I know friends and colleagues and business associates where they're, forget about 7 figures, into 8 figures. And then I know some people that are literally living paycheck to paycheck. So that's where the next part of the research goes, right? If you're in a household, where there's, you're in a household, so you and your spouse and maybe kids, that share is even lower. It's 58%, according to a 2022 research poll. And of course, it varies by income, education, and race. So if you're among adults with a household income of $100,000 or more, 87% own stock, versus those under $50,000 a year, roughly 28% do. Hold on for a second. I took notes here. Now, you may be thinking, and Mr. Sunshine may be watching this and thinking to himself, like, see, Mikey Pipes, I told you, like, there are haves and have-nots. One that have the financial means to invest and ones that don't. The number one reason why many Americans simply don't understand how investing works is the lack of financial literacy. Can you believe that? Only 34% of American adults can answer basic questions like inflation, compounding interest, and diversification. 34%. And of course, number 2 is low or stable or unstable income. And this is what really drives home. And this is according to a data that's available. And I'm sorry for just talking, but this is upsetting. I have a tarnished background. I had a troubled youth where I made the wrong decisions. And I had to pay for those actions that resulted in consequences where it's resulted in certain convictions, right? But 60% of U.S. adults have less than $10 $10,000. No, $1,000 in savings. 60% of U.S. adults have less than $1,000 in savings. And nearly half couldn't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing. I can't even say the word. Borrowing. Debt, okay? Without incurring more debt, okay? And when immediate bills like rent and groceries take priority, investing feels like a luxury, not a necessity. And then the rest is the fear of risk and loss. You know, I had a substantial investment from my late teens, early 20s, where, listen, I was in the dot-com, I was a dot-com engineer, IT engineer, in 98, 99, 2000, and 2001. And I invested heavily into blue chip stocks like GM, and I lost all the money that I saved in my late teens, you know, including all the money I earned, you know, as a newspaper boy, delivering Newsday newspapers here on Long Island. Yeah, and it took a very long time to get that back. And then limited access through work. You know, if you have a lower wage or a part-time job that don't offer retirement accounts, that's a problem. And that's what got me thinking. I am almost at the point, and Daniel, my DCHVAC, with his own YouTube channel, which posted a video yesterday of him actually inside of a 2 million BTU boiler. Got to give him a big, huge pat on the back, and he is going places. He really is. And it got me thinking, if you are a business owner, if you are not offering a retirement package or plan to your employees, do some research and bring that to the table. And that reminded me as I'm doing this research, and thank you, Mr. Sunshine. Thank you. Thank you for... Wait, you guys like the glasses? Or no glasses? These are the Meta glasses by Ray-Ban. Video. Most of my videos now that I record, that I post to YouTube, the Mikey Pipes Pipe Doc YouTube channel, they're all recorded with this. Got me thinking, Mr. Sunshine. You're right. Even though I believe in paying a living wage, unlike waiters and waitresses that work at restaurants and things like that, that rely on tips, which is wrong. I'm going to reassess, and by the end of the year, I'm going to make sure that for 2025, those that want to sign up for an investment plan at Pipe Doctor will be afforded that opportunity. I worked on it in the past, and then, things change. You get busy, and then you get slow, and then the slow times you work on making the phone ring. On busier times, you're looking to raise rates, because you're so fucking busy. Let me show that to you again. New York Post today. On your marks, get set, zo. Socialist Mamdani wins. He's a self-proclaimed democratic socialist. Let me stop. It's 14 minutes into this. Yeah? The Cheech. Oh, it's Stoli. You can't have one without the other. The doggies. I'll talk to you on the next one. Smash that thumbs up button. Oh, hold on. Okay. Relax. So, you guys wanted to see the bar. There you have it. So, my favorites, the Don Julio, 1942, the Casa Azul Gold. We have the, You guys don't even know what the hell that is. If you don't know what that is, right? I got 2 of those. If you don't know what that is, then you definitely know what the hell this is. Yeah. Yep. And Macallan, The Night on Earth. There's a Grey Goose bottle back there that's limited edition. It's good stuff.